inflection point is kind of 1 year old in Iris now. So the relationship or the acquisition is kind of 1 year old now. And within the first year, we've seen a growth of around 30% plus on the revenues that we've done. So from a financial backing perspective, I don't think we have any challenge, neither do we have a kind of anything lacking for further growth or to achieve the kind of plans that we have for Iris in India. Overall, the plan is for Iris, it has to be from a vision perspective. The idea is to be a partner of choice. Partner of choice for whom? For all the OEMs who want to move their products in India, and to be a partner of choice for the partners who want access to those brands. So I think from a vision perspective, that is the idea. From a short-term goal perspective, we intend to be $1 billion company in next 2 years. We probably at $500 million right now, and the idea is to grow to $1 billion in next 2 years. The key to reaching that $1 billion mark in India, from a product or an industry standpoint, would be our entry into the telecom space. Because there's typically no $1 billion plus distribution company in the country which is not participating in the telecom space. So I think this year you should see us focusing on adding the telecom category in a big way.
Like?
To Iris.
Telecom.
Okay, we are currently talking to various handphone companies for distribution. Maybe a week from now we will obviously get to know the names, who are we talking to or who are we signed up with. And we are not going ahead and signing some OEM for a national distribution. So we are actually doing a value add to these OEMs that we are talking to. Where there is one brand that we are talking to where we try and position the product to the masses in not only B, I'm saying C and D class cities. So that is one kind of tie-up that we are trying to do. The other type of tie-up is maybe a brand which is selling phones more than 40,000 rupees. So there is a different strategy for those. So we're talking to both ends of the market and trying to figure out maybe in this part of the country we will focus in this brand, that part of the country will focus on the other brand. So depending on the brands that we end up engaging with, we will have a plan in place. But this year the key is that growth will come from telecom. Though we will obviously intend to grow in the IT space as well, but the larger growth or the base for the next year growth has to be on the On the IT space, we work with all the leading brands: HP, Dell, IBM, Lenovo, Acer, Western Digital, APC, Wacom, Atis, Mircom,
Huawei and all.
Huawei. Not into system integration. From a true sense, we are not system integrators. System integrators primarily would be people who go out and talk to the customers directly. So we don't have a team that actually does that. But the way Iris has been since ages, we end up being a favorite choice for the system integrators. Because all system integration projects, the larger the project gets, the more complicated it gets. Whether it is from a credit perspective, largely from a credit and logistics perspective, it is a complicated transaction. Somewhere we have built a strength within Iris where we are able to execute or support these SIs execute those transactions. To give you a few examples without names, there is a small SI, yearly revenue of around 5 crores, picked up an order of somewhere around 30 crores. So for one, from a credit perspective, there is no way somebody will give 30 crores credit to a partner with 5 crores of balance sheet. We picked up that order. The delivery was at around 400 plus locations in the country. So we ensured the products got delivered to 400 plus locations across the country. And surprisingly, all the money came in before time. So this was one example where we help system integrators execute the businesses that they do. So we end up being the favorite choice of people
Who is the client?
At Iris One, we obviously have our own credit and finance team. It has been kind of in the DNA of this company to help partners build their business. At the same time, to kind of complement it Further, what we've done is, as inflection point, there's another subsidiary in India that has been launched called Extend Financials. So Extend is an NBFC, non-banking financial corporation, which currently is helping IRIS partners fund their projects. There are two ways of, or the two routes that we have to funding. So one is where IRIS is supporting the partner to execute a transaction. So in that case, it is more to do with the kind of end customers the partner is working with. So the credit decision becomes a function of what kind of end customers is the partner working with. So if this guy is working, two people company working on a project with IIT, so the decision is much easier for you. And two people company working on an unknown customer, the decision is much more difficult. So from an IRIS perspective, this is how we try and look at things. From a Extend perspective, it's more of an NBS. So the partner should be at least 3 years old in IT, should be more than 5 crores of revenue, balance sheet should be positive, CIBIL should be good. So I think it works more like a typical bank. So in that case, we are funding these partners, and currently I think we've already crossed 30-40 crores of funding to the channel through Extend. These are partners who have orders, these are partners who have opportunities, these are partners who have margins, but again, the availability of capital is low. So what we also do, so we work across, so there comes the play from the vendors. So what we do now is we go ahead and talk to all the OEMs. Say for example, we will go to an X OEM and say, you have a product range and I have a channel who's already working on, okay, so let me give you an example of, probably you can't quote that example, but I can just tell you that example. From an understanding perspective, we have a brand which is Brocade. Brocade is switches, IP switches. So what are we doing is, we have an existing channel which is selling servers. And these are the guys who are kind of installing those servers into the data centers of people where the switching is also going. So there is a brand, Brocade, which has an excellent product, wants to enter the channel, and there is a channel base which is anyway going to the customer data center but only with one product. So that is where we try and bridge the gap between, or get the partner and the vendor together. So vendor gets an advantage of a new channel, the channel gets an advantage of a new product in the same customer base, and we get an advantage.
You play the role as a